Hello and welcome to EvilGinger Miniatures, where you find me in the workshop and very much not on camera. Mostly because it is far too hot in the UK at the moment. This is the coolest place there is, as it hasn't yet warmed up for the day. It will do, it will turn into an oven. It's an old Victorian UK house and they were designed to retain heat. And this one will retain heat until the small hours of the morning, and then it will cool down. I'm actually filming this in the morning before it's got hot, but I won't be processing and posting the video until the office, which is already far too hot to live in, has cooled down enough for me to sit there and do the post-processing stuff, like listening back to this to see if it's recorded and you can hear what I'm saying and that sort of thing. As you can see, the workshop down here is a tip. That is my principal working area, and I've got about enough space for a can of paint, which I need to go out and spray on things if it ever cools down enough to do that, and a cup of coffee. I'm still drinking coffee in this weather, mostly because it's electrolytes that's the thing, and I'm drinking plenty of water. I have 3 litres of chilled water in the fridge, so you needn't worry about that. We have jobs I have to do, which are these anarchy people who need varnishing properly, but that needs the office to be cool enough for the paint not to go off almost interesting. You have a couple of my Romans and some of my Baron's War stuff. Then you have the ships, which I'm in process of rigging, some Dutch 120mm 20mm Dutch vehicles, and the villains from the three of the villains from the leadership of the Black Order. We also have the Norman horses that I posted last night, and their riders, which are sitting up there. Again, they need detailing, and it really isn't, and even if I turn all the lights on round here, it's not quite bright enough for me to see properly to do the final detailing, and of course I haven't got room to work. That's some more Outremer, who again will probably be the thing that I'm painting when it does cool down enough to actually work. There's more Outremer. Those are finished, and I'll be photographing those this evening to show you, because they're the commands and some groups of troops. There are more of those that need doing, but I've run out of the tufts that are on the base. I've ordered some more, but they're not here yet, and I'm not expecting them to be here till end of the week. I need to go out and do some serious shopping for tufts, for static grass as well, as I'm hoping I've ordered the right static grass this time after the 2 attempts with the rainforest identifying people and getting the wrong one. There are some knolls that I started before I had my little nervous breakdown the other year, and which need to be finished. There is a mix of my actual Baron's War from War Games Atlantic, and some more stuff from Victrix, which will be added to the Anarchy project. Down there we have the part of the workshop where I intend to be doing gaming, but currently it's also being used as a workshop. There's my Roman villa that's on its way. There's more dungeon floor plans that need doing. There's more Baron's War over here. This is a mix of the War Games Atlantic, Baron's War, and Fireforged for extra bodies. We have various bits of Frostgrave scenery concealed about the place, which again need painting. Lots of sprues that need putting away somewhere else. Bits and pieces of stuff for scratch building. I won't rake through that too much. It's a bit unstable, a bit like me really. And Dyson role-playing set times, more bases, more Barons, more Frostgrave scenery, which I need to find a home for on the many shelves of shame. Those who've been round a bit might recognise that that set behind me, that set of shelves behind there, is what was behind me when I did my earlier films and my live streams, when I thought I could still do those. I'll be back to doing those at some point soon. Here is the bulk of the Gothic walls, which are in process, but I've only got as far as black primering that most of these, and I'm going over them because I always miss bits. And I shall be gradually migrating those up to the workshop where I've got better vision and doing the detailing, as you'll be able to see it in the posts on the Facebook page, and possibly, though I don't think I've scheduled it for tonight, one on the community tab here. You see, I have also a very large selection of snap-it knives, and despite them being high visibility colours for the most part, guess what I can never find? A snap-it knife. This is one I got from the local shop, but they don't stock them anymore, so I'm probably going to have to go to Serco, sorry, to the wholesalers and get them. Not Serco, Serco are somebody completely different. As I say, the whole place needs a significant amount of tidying. Got more milliput, I've got stuff under there to be painted, and lots and lots and lots of shelves to clear and organise. And my little library of mostly non-games related books, again, that needs sorting. And the shelves of shame, on which there is loads of stuff which isn't finished or is part finished or that sort of thing, including a goblin army that's hiding under here, and a hut, and some early attempts at cavalry for Oathmark. Those are based on Fireforge medieval sergeants, I believe. Me coming back to here, and lots of dicey stuff, and spare paintbrushes and stuff like that, and the workstation, and yet another old laptop which I need to do something with, because the idea was to have one of these laptops available to use as a till when I go out and sell things in to the public. We also have, don't look at the bags too much because they are stuff I need to sort, which has nothing to do with work. Then we've got some loads and loads of transfers, and some of the pretties that I've had over the years from Bad Squiddo, because I like Bad Squiddo. Unfortunately, it's associated a little bit with me getting the miseries, because I've repeatedly got the miseries when I was in the middle of Bad Squiddo products. There is more Bad Squiddo stuff to paint, and really like to, because they're so lovely figures, I really like to be on my best sort of situation to do it. There's those Normans close up. They're not quite as far ahead as the horses, but all the horses need is I need to pick the eyes out on them, and I then need to do the brass work. But I normally do that after the metal work. I normally do that after I've mounted the riders on there, and the riders aren't quite at that level to mount. These are the wizards from the Ars Magica campaign, which would be finished, but for my losing the appropriate static grass. But the colour I seem to be unable to order correctly is that on the back there, which is also on the command, the Black Order people. I'll get my fingers off the top of there. I should really handle these by the bases like a good person, As you can see the green on the base there. I thought I had some, don't. There's some more horses under there which are for the Norman thing, and there's all sorts of paints from various manufacturers that need sorting. But getting back to something a bit more interesting, and there we have another wizard, and another wizard, and one of the Black Order wizards. He might need a little bit touch more varnish. He's a bit shinier than I thought he was going to be. But again, this isn't varnishing weather even with a brush, because it dries so fast and you only want a really thin coat on. These have been sprayed and retouched afterwards, but we have the French Outremer Retinue Infantry Standard. We have the dismounted French Outremer Retinue Command. That's the Lord's Banner, the Saint's Flag of St Denis, and again we have his shields. Need to do some shields for the Scots retinue that's also here, but the only one Scot that I've done so far is a retinue, and is this guy, and he's got St Andrew's cross on his shield because he's the group's cleric or priest. I'll be taking better pictures of these later when it's cooled down again, and of course I've got, and I'll be sorting these out into command groups. That's the Scots Lord. I'm wondering whether or not I should put a shield on the back of him, but there he is with his two-handed sword. Again, he's finished, and I need to take proper finished photographs of them. And it's getting hotter in here even as I'm filming this, and more uncomfortable. I need to get some Roman infantry to go with the cavalry here, because they're meant to be Saga warband leaders, and I need to finish painting these. But again, I need to do that in the office when it's cooled down enough to actually function in there, because that's the foot command for my Armenians that are underway. What else are we doing? It's pretty much an overview of everything that's going on in the workshop. As you can see, there's an awful lot of stuff everywhere, and there's stuff piled on stuff, which is one of the reasons I need to do the massive sort out that I need. Those are some big monsters. I'll be doing lots of those for the Etsy shop at some point in the future. There's more stuff stored away in boxes. Top box needs a lid, which is why it's not got anything in it, because the 9 litre boxes like this one and the 4 litre boxes like this one have the same lid size because they've got the same basic footprint. So, found that while looking for the grass the other day. It's a bit tatty, but it's still usable as a pair of clip-ons. And I'm just basically plodding along, but it would help, and I'd get a lot more stuff done if it wasn't quite so ungodly hot at the moment. I'm not sure what the temperature in the workshop is, but the temperature in the office was 30 when I went up there, according to the thermostat that's up there. It feels a lot cooler down here, but that might just be because, as I say, I've got a tower fan working its way behind there. That's the figured drying radiator, so all of those will have to go off in the winter, and all of these packing boxes will need to be emptied and sorted and taken where they're going, and I need to replace all the shelving in here, apart from metal shelving over there, with more of the metal shelving of the sort that I've got in the office, because I can get so much more on that than I have here. But it's all a work in progress, and it's a fact that I can't get it done all the time. Anyway, according to this, you've had 15 minutes of me waffling to compact camera, and it's getting uncomfortably hot, so I'm going to go off and have a drink of cold water, of which I've got loads, and then I will be probably hibernating for the rest of the evening, and when it's cooled down enough for me to do it, I will be posting this as normal. So take care everybody, keep hydrated, and don't melt. It's messy for a start. Bye!